What is up? Methodemo here for the EDM first reaction for September 7th, 2018. Let's get started with our first track of the week, Electricity by Silk City featuring Dua Lipa.
A little piano house, okay. Okay. Ooh.
Well, this song I think is definitely one of the better Silk City songs we've heard so far. I don't think it really compares to some of Dua Lipa's other performances on other EDM artist songs, whether that's with Martin Garrix or with Calvin Harris in particular. If you're a Dua Lipa fan or you just kind of like that more uplifting, groovy house, especially with those piano elements, definitely check out this track. Next up is Made For You by Getter.
Definitely has some sort of emo punk like vibes to it, even though it sort of sounds like, you know, a future bass flute style song. So really interesting style so far. Alright. I like the progression so far with the vocal into this sort of more cinematic build up. I wonder who did vocals on this.
So that was really sad, but really pretty at the same time. Definitely had that sort of combination. I guess like Odessa meets like freaking Blink 182. Like that combination of Odessa Blink 182 is like the best I can come up with, but I could definitely see that sort of really resonating with a lot of people, because I do think the people that like listen to Odessa, that like go to like, you know, 4+ of those shows, or like sees Flume like, you know, 3 times in a summer or whatever, those people are kind of depressed, a little sad, definitely seeking some sort of escapism that I think this sort of album I think is seeking at, just kind of being damaged by either a relationship or what have you. Maybe not quite my cup of tea. Maybe not something I'm going to be putting on all the time, just because it's a little just too low key, but really, really interesting. Excited to see where it fits on to the rest of the album. And to contrast that very honest piece of art, we got Tiesto's Big Room remix of Jaggy Chan by Tiesto, Post Malone, ZHU, and Preem.
This song in particular already had like 4 ghostwriters, but this Big Room remix has like 4 more. Okay. Like the fucking Boombox Cartel Vox or whatever. Oh, I'm gonna hear the bass line coming
in. Yeah, that's not Big Room House, okay? I'm not the subgenre stickler, but that was like a Matroda song or some shit.
Yo, listen to this. This is random like automation right here. Wait, here we go.
What the hell is that? That was like the worst effect I've ever heard in a Tiesto song. That made no sense. Not Big Room House, but probably still effective. I like a beach EDM club venue, just about that. And, you know, it's a solid industry plant anthem. Next song is No Place by Rufus Du Sol. Got some fucking layers going on under this fucking dude's voice. This is really, really, really... It's almost like a trancey. This is the first time listening to Rufus Du Sol. I already got a good feeling about this song.
There's no place I'd rather be.
Okay.
Rufus really just showing how they're one of the most consistent groups in dance music, electronic music. I can't name a bad release in a minute. I know we're only reacting to one song, but I'm pretty sure there's a couple others. All Rufus fans, rejoice. If you're not already a Rufus fan, give them a listen. Maybe like when you're like studying or doing something more like chilled and laid back. You're gonna probably find one or two songs that you probably like. Next up is Extraterrestrial by Tynan and Kompany.
Where do you come from?
A lot of modern talking, circuit bending sounds, rather than the typical banging pots and all that stuff.
Where do you come from?
I don't know, pretty inventive banger. Like, there's really no melodic elements to it at all. It's really just build sample into a drop. I could see if this song was mashed up with something that it would actually go really well live, because it's a pretty unorthodox sounding, I want to say trap, but I think it's like a dubstep sort of bop to it. That sounds so corny. So yeah, that's really where I see it being the best, is just taking that first drop and plugging it into some sort of mashup and send it. Next up is Let It Up by ZHU and TOKiMONSTA.
You know your body is a temple.
This is a hit. Oh, I did not know ZHU had the dancehall bag.
You got the
It's fucking a hit. You literally just listen to this bass line. Really gonna be a good opening track, I think. Really sets the vibe, very smooth. Nice low tempo. Not too familiar with TOKiMONSTA, but I'm a fan of the song.
Next up is Take Off by Matisse and Sadko.
Got the Are You Ready sample. It's gonna be amazing. I'm okay. Oh my gosh, this hi-hat loop. It's like in the Jaws pack.
I think the interludes and the builds were kind of minimal on that song. Really didn't add anything, but the drops were pretty cool. I liked the percussive part of the drop. It sounded kind of like a Jungle Terror sort of song. Brought a good energy to the track. Definitely not my favorite of this week, but not a bad song either. Next up is Back and Forth by MK, featuring Jonas Blue and Becky Hill.
Oh my gosh, this is the girl that did Overdrive. I'm already comparing the song to Electricity that we heard earlier in this video. It's both very similar piano house vibes, little retro sounds.
Standard MK, nothing to get too excited about. If you like MK, check out the song. You know exactly what you're gonna get. It's not necessarily my cup of tea. Like, you can just hear it in the drums and in his bass sounds. Becky Hill did a pretty good job, just not enough for me to necessarily add it to any playlists. Next up is Started by JayKode and Rickyxsan.
Huge. Double drop. Boys ain't ready. Mine's not hot.
This one I feel like it was kind of trying to do a lot. I mean, it was loud, rambunctious, definitely a banger, but the beat switches and the separate aggressive elements and melodic elements kind of didn't mix as well as I'd like it to. Just not my favorite song personally by either of them. Last song is Party Starter by Flux Pavilion and Eliminate. Eliminate, one of my favorite new artists, or relatively new, just not new artist because he's been around for a while, but lately he just kind of found his own sounds and started making some really, really good records.
This might be really, really dope live. Just it's so ear piercing, but catchy.
See, that song was really interesting because it was, the sounds I think were really Eliminate, but the more melodic lead, even though it was sort of a trap lead, is definitely something that I expect more from Flux Pavilion. So it was interesting that it was sort of like written as a Flux Pavilion song, but it had so many sounds from Eliminate. It really had that sort of Eliminate style. And it's sort of an unorthodox song too, so I'm interested to see how that does live and how other people reciprocate with it. I'm definitely a fan of the song. Overall though, for this week, there was a couple of songs that I thought were going to do better. There really was no like out of left field surprises. Really, the Getter song was probably one of my favorites. Ringo's Desert, there were a couple good songs on that. August had a couple better weekends, gonna be honest. Let me know what you guys thought about all the songs below. This has been the EDM First Reaction for September 7, 2018. See you guys next time.